Hey everyone, welcome to my channel or welcome back. So my name is Katie if you're new, and today is going to be my Pan Those Eyeshadows update for July. So it's been a really good month for me for this project. Last month was a little bit boring. This project really got put on the back burner because I had so much other stuff going on, but this month I've really just been enjoying the time to be creative. Before my job started, I have some decent progress to share as well as a surprise pan. I'm always happy to have a couple of shades rolling out. I think I'm going to bring in 2 shades this update as well to get myself back to 5, at least for right now. I'm getting very much down there on my Pan That palette, so I think another shade in this project, at least for right now, makes sense. Might go down to 4 in a little bit, but for right now I think that feels right, so that's what I'm gonna do. Also, having said that, if you do hear any screaming in the background, I have my windows closed and I don't think you can hear anything, but nobody's being murdered. The neighborhood kids are just apparently training for a career in horror movies, so that's what that is. If you do hear anything, everything's fine. So as a little reminder, this is what I've been working on since the last month. So this top shade right here is Iffy, which is from the Colourpop Lilac palette. This is Sleepwalk from Milk, Cheese and Parties, Bloodline by Clionadh and Little Frog from Colourpop the Child palette. So this has been a lot of fun to work on. I rolled Bloodline in last month, which is a really fun shade to incorporate into looks, and I feel like I've been wearing a lot of purple and also a lot of green. Little Frog right here was really complimentary to a couple of the remaining shades in my Pan That palette, so I was able to use those together quite a bit over the last month. Having said that, let's get into the progress. So most of my quartet came with me when I went down to go visit my parents. Sleepwalk did not, and so it's my least used shade this month. I've only used it 3 times and it still looks pretty much the same. I feel like there's a little bit of a dip forming, but really nothing crazy. I know with this shade I'm not going to get anywhere near pan in 20 uses, and that's okay. I just want to use it more. I'm wearing it today. I've worn it 3 times this month, which is really not great, but it is what it is. And then I put Bloodline on top of it, so I've been having fun using this one as a base for other shades. This one definitely brings out different parts of Bloodline, more so like the sparkliness, and Sleepwalk has also been really fun to use as a base underneath some of the shimmers from the Lilac. Specifically the one that I've been using the most would be Wake Me right here, which is like this pink to blue duochrome. A lot of these shades are very sheer, and the duochrome doesn't really show that much until you put them on a darker base, so I've been kind of working on that, and I think I'll continue to do that throughout this month just to sort of play around with this and get some different use out of it. But yeah, it pretty much looks the exact same as the last month. I have used this one 10 times, so it is looking more used than when I brought it into this project, but not significantly. So next up we have Bloodline from Clionadh, which I rolled in last month. I've used this one 5 times since the last update. It did have a little bit of a dip on it when I rolled it into this project, and it does look definitely more used. That dip is more pronounced, but I can tell just by looking at it that I think I may be like halfway to pan, maybe a little bit less than that. So I kind of, with this one, at first I was thinking that I would really focus on it, and then I sort of thought about it a little bit more and realized that with the special shades, as far as having them in this project goes, my philosophy is that I do want to make them eligible to roll in so that I don't fall into that trap of saving them for really special occasions that may or may not come and then they just end up collecting dust. But I also don't want to power through and try to hit pan ASAP, so I'm going to be happy with this one just to use this one like, 5 to 7 times a month, but I'm not pushing myself to try to hit pan on it ASAP. I'm just kind of like really savoring having it in here and just enjoying it. I think I'm probably going to wear this one to work tomorrow as well. I don't think that I'll have pan on this one by the next month, but potentially by the month after, which would be September. I'm thinking I might be able to get there, but you never know. I have been having a lot of fun having this one in. It's such a pretty shade. It's one of those things that I'm happy to have in for another couple months. It's also one of those shades where with something lighter in the crease, I feel like I can definitely get away with wearing it to work. I discovered that they are pretty much just leaving me alone in the lab to do my thing. Minimal human contact, and I think I have a little bit more freedom than I thought I did, so that's awesome. So while this one does certainly look a little bit more loved than the last update, which is great to see, I'm not pushing myself to hit pan on it ASAP. If it does happen by next month, great. If not, that's fine too. Next up, we have my surprise pan, and I hit pan on Iffy from Lilac, which I was not expecting. These pans are deeper than I thought they were going to be. It took me 6 additional uses to hit pan on this since the last update, and it took me 14 uses overall. I did have a little bit of a dip on this one when I rolled it in, so it wasn't like it was brand new. This is also quite a powdery formula. I find that these do involve quite a bit of building just to get them to pay off the way that they do in the pan. So, and generally when I use this shade, I was committing to like full-on bright purple, so that was how I managed to hit pan on this one. I didn't think I was as close as I was, so I was very surprised when I did use this one that 5th or 6th time. I got like that little glimmer of pan because I just didn't think it was gonna happen before I hit my usage goal, so that was a fun little surprise. And last but not least, we have my surprise most used shade, which was Little Frog from the Child palette. This was my least used shade last month, and I really got into this one. Like, I took this palette, Lilac and my Clionadh singles down with me when I went to go visit my parents along with Pan That palette, and so I really wanted to focus on those, and I did. So I used Little Frog an additional 9 times since the last update, and I do not have pan on this one. I think I may be halfway there, a third of the way there, so I don't think it's gonna happen in 20 uses, but I do have much more of a dip on this one than I did as of the last update. And like I said, I think earlier, this one pairs really nicely with Industrial and Sinful from my Pan That palette, so I found some good mattes to use with those so that I can get some more use out of them. So I've really been enjoying this. I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable and acquainted with this palette than I was prior to rolling this shade in, and I've gotten some really gorgeous soft green looks, and so I'm really excited to continue continue reaching for this one over the next month. So that is my progress for this month. I did hit one pan, but I am going to be rolling in 2 additional shades. So I'm going to go do that, and then I'm going to show you guys what we got. Okay, so I rolled in number 30 and number 101. Both of those are ABH shades. So 30 is Boli from the ABH Carli Bybel palette, which hasn't been in this project in a while, so I figured it was only a matter of time. And Modern Renaissance has yet to be in this project, so really happy to have that one in too. So Boli is this kind of champagne shade up here. And as you guys can see, it does have a little bit of a dip in it, but nothing super excessive, but I do think this will be a very easy shade to incorporate. It's always nice to have at least 1 or 2 safety shades that are easy to wear, and I think Boli definitely fits that. It's also a pretty good inner corner highlight for me, especially now that I have, believe it or not, a very, very tiny tan that will show up on me a little bit better. So I'm glad to have that one come in. And then I also got Cyprus Umber, which I was contemplating re-rolling for, but I think this will be good with the bronze shade in my pan that palette, so we're gonna leave it in. And I feel like my deep browns sometimes end up getting neglected, so I'm gonna roll this one in. And so it looks like this. I do have a little bit of a dip on this one. I think if I do hit pan on this one, which I think is not outside of the realm of possibility, I think it'll probably take a couple months. So this is what I'm working on for the next month. So this is Cyprus Umber up here, and then I swatch Boli down here. You can barely see it, but it is there. So this is fun. I think this is a really nice balance between some of the like lighter shades like Bloodline and Boli, and then some of the darker shades like Sleepwalk and Cyprus Umber. So I think this is going to be fun to play around with over the next month. So before I talk about goals and wrap this one up, I did want to very quickly discuss pan percentage, which has started to rebound a little bit. I said that last month I really didn't want it to get a whole lot lower, and I was hoping that I could start bringing it up a little bit higher, and I did, not significantly, but I did hit a few new pans and I did finish one. So as of the last update, I had a pan percentage of 12.1, down significantly from I think 15.1 as of May. That was 22 total pans hit out of 182 total eyeshadow pans. Now I've hit 24 pans out of 181, so I have gone up to a pan percentage of 12.1%. I don't have any specific goals that I'm trying to hit on this, but I really didn't want that pan percentage to get too much lower. I expected a couple of dips as I started to finish some previously panned shades in my pan that palette, but I didn't want this to go, you know, much below 10%. So I'm glad to be sort of like on the rebound as far as pan percentage is concerned. So I do have a couple of bonus pans that are a little bit boring. As you might have seen when I showed you my Modern Renaissance, I did hit pan on Tempera this month. I've mainly been using that one as a lid setting shade, so that's how I managed to hit pan. Nothing significant or spectacular, but I was not at all surprised to see that one coming. I also hit a bonus pan in Lilac You a Lot, which I was not entirely surprised by. I did have to repress Trainwreck because this shade fell out of the pan a couple months ago, and then I've been using this one often with Iffy as an inner corner highlight, so I did hit a tiny little pan there. I don't know if it fully counts, but I decided to count it. Those are the 2 bonus pans for this month. I don't know if I'll have any next month, but I guess that remains to be seen. So as far as goals go for the next month, I do have a couple. I really do want to hit my usage goal on Little Frog and get that one rolled out. I have really enjoyed it, and I know that I'll continue to reach for that one along with my pan that palette. I think by the time I finish Industrial in my pan that palette, I probably will have pan on Little Frog, but I'm not like pushing it to happen for right now. And I think 7 uses is definitely doable, so I think that shade will probably be rolling out by the next update. I think Boli is also going to be a very easy shade to incorporate. It's a great inner corner highlight, very easy lid shade to use, so I'm thinking I can probably either hit pan on that one or hit my 20 uses. We'll kind of see how that goes. So I think it's possible that Boli could be rolled out next month, either by usage goal or by hitting pan. We'll just kind of see how that one goes. I might hit pan on Bloodline, I might not. I'm not really pushing for it to happen ASAP, but if it happens, cool. If not, that's fine too. I definitely wouldn't mind having that one around for an extra month. As far as Sleepwalk is concerned, I really do want to start moving this one a little bit more towards hitting my usage goal and getting that one rolled out. I think if I can use that one 5-ish times, I'd be pretty happy with that. And then Cyprus Umber, I have really no specific goals. I think that'll be easy to tuck on the lower lash line, use as an eyeliner, use in my outer corner, so I think I can get some use out of that one. I think it'll probably take me a couple of months to pan it, but I think I can definitely get more of a focus dip happening in that shade. I don't really have any photos of looks this month. I kind of fell off on that after doing so well the previous month, but I will tell you today I'm wearing mostly the She's in Parties palette. I have Total Immortal as a transition, Mean Streak in the crease, Sleepwalk as my lid shade, and then I put Bloodline on top of it, and I have Becca's Prismatic Amethyst as my face highlight as well as my inner corner highlight. I did a couple of looks that were pretty similar with the Child palette and the couple remaining shades in my pan that palette, so I would go in with either just like a Tattoo-In or Baby Face as a transition, use Little Frog as a crease shade, and then Float Your Crib to add a little bit more depth. Then I would usually put Industrial either all over the lid or to sort of blend the transition between whatever matte I was putting on my outer corner, usually Little Frog, and then Float Your Crib, and Sinful, which is sort of like a greenish gold sort of shade. It's actually slightly more of a gold version of like Precious Cargo right here. So anyways, that was kind of what I was wearing a lot this month when I did wear that. It was a really gorgeous, soft, wearable, slightly green look. But anyway, that was kind of like the main look that I did this month, and I was often wearing Bloodline as a lid shade with some of the mattes from Lilac a lot. I really liked it with honestly like all three of these lighter mattes, either Ghostin', Imagine That, or Zoned Out, and I think I'm probably going to wear it with, I think, Zoned Out in the crease for work tomorrow. So that's everything that I have for this update. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you aren't already subscribed and you want to see more of my face, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I upload when I can. And as always, if you're doing this project, feel free to let me know down below how it's going and what you're working on, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!